This is my way too early review of several UGC content creation services and apps. I say it's way too early because I've only been at this a couple weeks, evaluating this for potential clients in the future, myself. But I'm a big believer that first impressions mean a lot. And so while this is very early in the use of some of these services, I thought it'd be helpful just to share some first impressions, and then we can do another update within a couple months of how it all played out. I'm really interested in hearing your feedback in the comments below. I will say at this point that everybody gets the benefit of the doubt. There aren't any harsh reviews here. They're just first impressions. And so over time, we'll see if any of these patterns or trends play out that I've seen in the first couple weeks of going into the UGC world. I also want to give a quick shout out to Megan on TikTok. She's at Megan_UGC. She's really the inspiration for a lot of Gen Xers like myself getting into and learning more about UGC, both personally and for clients. So she's a star and deserves a lot of credit. So give her a follow on TikTok. In this first YouTube video, I'm going to look at 9 different services: Insense, Billo, Beeroll, Breakfast, Brands Meet Creators, a lot of B words, Tribe, Clip, Backstage, and Fiverr. So let's jump in with some early impressions. Insense. This is one of the first ones that I tried out, and I do like it. Their service was great, very responsive, and their algorithm makes some recommendations for you based on your profile. I'm going to get a few different recommendations as a Gen Xer versus a Kardashian on which products. And so that's helpful. So you don't spend more time wasted of just going through things that just clearly don't apply to you, like say maybe hair products. So most of those on Insense are going to be in the $100, $200 range. Some will peak and get above $400. And I think that's going to be a great service, and especially in that I'll almost call it a higher, mid to higher tier in terms of pricing. So good start with Insense. 2, Billo. I got my first hit with this with a sports app company called Got Sport, doing a simple voiceover walk and talk type video, then a golf opportunity. They have about 200 opportunities listed on the site. You know, they tend to be those $30 to $50 gigs, sometimes cash, sometimes product, which is referred to as gifted. I think this is a good one for just getting reps, and a lot of quality opportunities on there if you want to practice, get going. And sometimes if you're more interested in exchanging videos for product, this is a great place to do it. But it's kind of like batting practice in baseball to me. This is a place to get your reps and get your warm-ups going, and Billo's been a great start. 3, Beeroll, B-E-E roll. I have a lot of optimism for this one. They have great listings and great brands, some really high-level brands like New Balance, Mugsy Jeans, Bird Dogs, and they pay, you know, $100 or more depending on what the project is. There's one just head scratcher, and I haven't figured it out yet. And I haven't asked Beeroll, to be fair. But there's a due date, like a closing date for when you think the application is going to close and brands are going to make decisions. And like in 20 instances, the due date always changes. You think the due date is today, you look back, it was extended a week. That's fine in isolated instances, but it happens so often that it's really just a head scratcher of what's going on there, of when maybe they're just not getting enough applicants, enough users. I don't know, but it's so frequent and so common. I just don't understand it yet. I'm going to hang in there because I really like the site and I like the gigs that they have posted, and they really have some high quality brands. So I'm going to hang in there on this one. 4, Breakfast. And that's spelled without any vowels, BRKFST. I would say this is one of the early ones that I started to look into. Their customer support was phenomenal, very responsive, leading you through, especially if you're a new creator, leading you through the process of getting your portfolio updated, your samples. And they just really did a nice job of walking you through the process and getting you ready before joining the site. And their service was great. And so they also have some really high level brands: QVC, Harry and David, Mint Mobile, a lot of 1-800-Flowers.com, which owns other businesses. So really some high quality stuff. It can be $200, and I've seen many that are upwards of $800, $850. So 2 great leads on projects came from that, and they've just really had some of the best service that I've experienced early on in this process. 5, brands meet creators. Yes, more of the B terms of Billo and breakfast and brands meets creators, and you'll hear Backstage later, and Beeroll. So brands meet creators. I really like this one. They have some of the best functionality on search for the site that I would say is a little more analogous to what you're used to in an e-commerce shopping site. Whether you're looking for men, UGC versus influencer, high, medium, and low pay, or gifted, where you can actually sort the database and it just quickly turns it over on the right, so you can really get focused on what you're looking for. I haven't seen as many resources to track what you've submitted to, like other sites, that just really has a folder for where you've submitted or drafts that you might have going in process. But Brands Meet Creators is really some high quality stuff, and I've got some immediate hits. I'm actually very excited and very optimistic about Brands Meet Creators. 6, Tribe. This is another good one, and I think it's going to be a high quality type brands that are Zenny Glasses, Circle K, the convenience stores, and they seem to be leaning toward higher dollar amounts with higher work product asked for on the backside of it. And so this one, they make you work a little bit more. They actually either have you write some copy, post an image, and write what the social copy would be for that. And in some cases, they ask you to make a pitch. Just like if you're an agency, you can either write out that pitch or actually just create a short video of yourself and submit that, of pitching ideas back to the brands. So I would say a higher quality submission. It's too early for me to tell whether I'm going to get any bites on that or not. You've got to put some thought in it. You can't just mindlessly hit click. You've got to put forward a good pitch and bring forward your ideas. So I think that could actually be a good thing long term, where it's going to separate some of the mindless submitting, whether you're qualified or not. 7, Clip. This one's way too early to tell. It feels like a little closer to Billo in that what I've seen is gigs ranging from $25 to $70. It has 16 gigs posted as the time that I post this video in November 2024. And they said in one of the emails back that something to the effect of, hey, we're new. More opportunities are going to be added in the future. Seems to be a nice site with some good posts and good opportunities listed there. It's just way early in the game for them. So give them a chance, and I think it'll be a cool one. 8 and 9 are actually 2 that came from other industries, Backstage and Fiverr. So Backstage really has been around for a long time, seeking VO talent, extras, appearances for actors, actresses, and so they definitely have a UGC content creator section to the site. And so they've added some really good stuff, and it's typically high quality, and it ranges. You're going to see the $50 post or the $30 post and $100, and some projects that are a little more substantive that might even get into the low thousands. Acting jobs and others can certainly get up there higher, depending on really the scale and the scope of the project. But Backstage, I would say, has the most sophisticated tools for tracking, search, saving opportunities, keeping track of your submissions, having drafts saved. And this one tends to attract a nice high quality client as well that asks for you to sometimes do auditions and even reads for different opportunities. So you have to put in a little more work to it, but it's a high quality site with high quality opportunities. Number 9 is Fiverr. Many of you know Fiverr because this really came, with at least my understanding, out of the graphic design world of hiring freelancers, videographers, and different skills for different projects. And so UGC Content Creator is a part of this. Within 24 hours, received a very high quality lead from posting what they call a gig on Fiverr. And so it went quiet after that, which is fine. But I can just really see that sophisticated brands, companies, agencies that are used to these kind of services were already established on Fiverr and Backstage to a certain extent as well. And so I think that's going to be a good one. The net of all this seems to be placing your chips in a lot of numbers on the board. It's too early to tell what's a good number to place your chip on or a bad number. But right now, from my agency standpoint, I'm just trying to figure out where you want to place some of the long-term chips and really feeling out these sites and services for what I'll say is relatively new to me on UGC content creation for myself or even for clients, making recommendations for clients in the future for my sports marketing business. It's really fun to see this world evolve and really just the different movers and competitors in the space that is going to make this really exciting. I would love to hear your comments on anything that we've talked about so far. And again, I said this at the top, but I'll say it again. It's way too early for these opinions, but first impressions mean so much. So are there sites that you are having more success with? Do you take issue with any of the assessment that I've given? I'd just love to hear your comments in this really brand new industry for me. And maybe we check back in a few months after a little bit more experience in dealing with these sites and we're beyond first impressions. It's an exciting world and an exciting space, and you can really feel the momentum of a lot of brands coming into this space to do some great stuff. So leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and we'll talk next time.